If you smell what The Rock is cooking.
Welcome, Genre Report fans, to our very first YouTube video. I'm David K., your host today, and with me, as always, is classy John Canton.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the debut of our YouTube channel. We're going to see how this goes. We're going to do these 15-minute conversations between Dave and I. You know Dave he writes a pay-per-view previews with me. He's writing some lists of WrestleMania columns, and hopefully we'll get better at this as we go. And obviously we're going to start off by talking about The Rock today.
Yeah, the big thing, obviously, was yesterday The Rock came back. Says he's going to be guest hosting WrestleMania, so we're going to cover a few questions that have been circling around. So for starters, I mean, John, do you think he's going to be in a match? Do you think somewhere along the line he's going to be in the ring competing?
I mean, I wish the answer was yes, but I honestly believe, I think he posted on his Facebook page last week, he wrote this long note, and this was, before we knew he was going to be a guest host for sure, and he basically said, I don't really want to wrestle again. I had my last match in 2004. I accomplished everything I wanted to do at the time I was 30, which is my age. He's accomplished a lot more than me. And I just think he doesn't need it. A lot of the guys that hang around and wrestle too long, they don't have money, or they don't have, they never went out on the way they wanted to. Or in Ric Flair's case, he doesn't have money, and some guys just have the itch; they have nothing else to do. But he's got this other outlet as an actor. He's making $10 million a film or more. Why does he need to go risk his body and get injured and things like that? He didn't get injured much when he was wrestling actively, but he tore his Achilles tendon to make a movie and things like that. So, it's different than, the one thing I know from talking to wrestlers over the years was if you're in shape, that's one thing, but if you're in wrestling shape, it's a different thing. To run the ropes and do all that kind of stuff after 7 years is a long time. It's hard to get back into that kind of shape. And he's a lot bulkier now. I don't think he can move like he used to. That's just how life is. You know what I mean? It's not saying that he's out of shape, but I just don't think he's going to be wrestling again. He doesn't need it. But on the other hand, John Cena versus The Rock would be a huge draw, wouldn't it?
Yeah, oh yeah. But so what do you mean? What do you think he meant when he was going after Cena? I mean, do you think he's just there to raise his hand, hit him with a move? I mean, what do you think that was all building towards?
Honestly, I think all the Cena Rock stuff, and it started with Cena saying, okay, Rock says he's wrestling and he loves wrestling, but why doesn't he come back to the company? And a lot of people said, well, why is John Cena saying that? To me, I think that's Vince feeding him the lines to say that to the media, and I think because Vince always knew that Rock would come back in some capacity, so here you go, you got a shoot kind of thing, right? But they're probably really good friends, or they might know each other. It could be what Cena really feels, but I think it's more of a work, and I think the whole point is going to be John Cena versus The Miz at WrestleMania, who The Rock mentioned both of them. It's kind of funny that you mentioned Cena when there's 5 other guys in the match, but I mean, everybody knows he's going to win Elimination Chamber, right? Yeah. So anyway, I think it's just one of those cases where Miz is going to lose to Cena, and at the end of the match, Rock is going to raise his hand and kind of pass the torch and kind of endorse Cena. It's kind of a tough love thing. It's kind of like, okay, Cena, I ripped you on the microphone, now you got to prove to me that you're good enough to be the man, kind of thing like that. So he's going to do it in front of Rock. I think that's what Rock's there to do, to raise Cena's arm. I don't think they're turning Cena heel.
Yeah, no,
I just don't see it.
I don't think so either. But the role of the guest host really hasn't been defined yet. I mean, I think that's the question that everyone's on everyone's mind. But do you see him next to the ring in some kind of fashion? Announcer, referee, just kind of chilling out there. I mean, how does he get from guest host to being next to the ring? I mean, how does that transition going to work?
I think they could say something like special enforcer, like nothing's going to happen on the floor, because Alex Riley's part of the scenario kind of thing, and Michael Cole kind of thing. So maybe he's outside the ring, kind of like Mike Tyson was, if you remember. Then there's a ref bump, and then Rock goes in and he'll count the pinfall. I think something like that. He just kind of wants to make, he could say, I'm the host of WrestleMania, I want to make sure everything runs smoothly kind of thing. On the show, I think he'll probably be doing a backstage skit if Steve Austin's there. I mean, why not have a drinking thing and bring out some comedy heel and they hit their finishers on them, the crowd would go crazy. You know what I mean? Remember when Hulk Hogan came back and did the thing with Muhammad Hassan and Eugene and stuff like that? They could do stuff like that, entertaining segments. It doesn't have to involve wrestling. A lot of people are going to tune in to see The Rock. They're going to buy their pay-per-view because of The Rock.
Well, okay, so that's true.
I don't think he has to be in a match.
I don't think so either, but how much more excited are you now about Mania because The Rock is attached to it? I mean, now that he's the guy. I mean, what were you excited before, and what does that change now?
I wrote a column on Friday, and we could stick the link in there somewhere. And
Okay.
I said something about how they really need The Rock because the card, it's Cena, Miz, Orton, Punk, Del Rio, Edge. Undertaker's probably against Triple H is the rumor. And so I just don't see the appeal of that many matches. So I think, but The Rock's presence alone, I mean, look at Monday and look at today how much talk there's been about The Rock and stuff. And Twitter's gone crazy. My Facebook page has gone nuts. A lot of people are talking about it, and all of a sudden, and Dave, I talked to you, and I said, "Hey, let's go to WrestleMania, maybe." You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I didn't really care to go before, but now I just want to be in the crowd just to see The Rock talk. And it's like I just want to see a guy talk. I'm like, we're grown ass men here.
Now, does this satisfy?
He made us feel like we're kids.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Exactly. But does this satisfy your disappointment in knowing that the 22111 video wasn't Sting? I mean, does this kind of help that little burn there?
I mean, I like Sting, but I don't know if I like 53-year-old Sting. You know what I mean? Like he was never that great in TNA the last few years. Like he had a couple decent matches with Kurt Angle, but that's Kurt Angle. It's not 46-year-old broken down Undertaker. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I don't think you get him there for his in-ring prowess. I mean, you're really getting him there for that face
Just for
paint
the moment,
and the stare down.
I mean, I like Sting, and I think it'd be cool if he was there, and it could still happen. But I'm way more excited for The Rock being back. I'm more of a Rock fan, and he's, like he said, 7 years is a long time, so there's a lot of freshness to it. I think if he comes back next year and they do the Hall of Fame with him, it'll be good, but it won't have as much freshness as this Raw did. Like this Raw, that was one of those top 5, top 10 Raw moments ever. I think, honestly.
Well, I mean, you don't get that much.
And I don't think I'm speaking out of my ass by saying that.
No, I mean, you don't get that much star power behind, one moment like that. I mean, with their little swerve with the lady's foot coming out, and then
That was kind of odd. I don't know what the hell that is, but we'll see.
So, well, I mean, Rock's got a lot of star power. How do you compare him to the guys of today and people from the past that could have come back?
I think I was telling you this earlier. Like it's almost like he's like a level above everyone else. Like he's a senior in high school, and then these guys are like kind of like a junior or sophomore kind of thing. Like they're not there yet. Like when he was cutting the promo, and he was like, "Remember Steve Austin and me," kind of thing. Like he wanted to say Mick Foley too, but he works for TNA, so he can't. But you know what I mean? Like the level of promos that those guys did were better than the guys now. Part of it is writing, because a lot of those guys didn't have word for word promo writing. You know what I mean? I think Rock probably wrote most of his promo yesterday.
Oh yeah.
So it's not like
Sorry.
they gave them a lot of leeway back then, and now the promos are like the guys are writing word for word for word. It's not necessarily a case of the Miz talking; it's more the Miz talking from guys' pen.
You really
So
don't
it's a
think
big
the Miz
difference.
writes his stuff? I mean, that's pretty. I mean, he goes into detail a lot. I mean, you think that's all scripted? The entire
The
thing?
Miz, I think he's very scripted. Yeah, I think Cena is a lot scripted too, and that's a shame. That hurts Cena, because I think Cena's a natural talker, and he'd be really good if he didn't have a writer. But he's got to be the family PG guy.
Well, that's true. So, okay. One more thing, I guess. One of the weird things that The Rock said last night was he was never going away. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can pull this up.
It is because of you that I'm back in this ring, and it is because of you, and I give you my word, I am never, ever going away.
Now, do you think that means anything, or was he just caught up in the moment?
It's not like he's going to be on Raw every week. He's filming some huge movie, I believe, in May or something. I forget what it's called, Journey to the Center of the Earth or something like that. And his movie, The Fast and Furious one, comes out at the end of April, so he kind of has a 2-month window here where all he's going to be doing is kind of WrestleMania. But I don't think he's going to be on Raw again. They might. I think it'd be smart to stick him on Raw one more time and advertise it and just see what the rating can be, because he generated a lot of press. So I think they should say something like, okay, I don't know the Raw schedule, but if they're in a big city, I think they should say The Rock's going to be on this show. Advertise it a week before, see what kind of pop you might get, and then go from there. So,
do you think last night's ratings kind of were hurt by the fact that they didn't say that it was The Rock? I mean, that they had no promotion for him whatsoever?
Yes and no. I think it was They got a 3.2, which is not very good, but the Rock segment was good. It was on par to what Shawn Michaels' retirement speech was. I think it was 5.8 million and 5.7 million.
Yeah, but
But
you knew that was
the
coming.
other thing was Valentine's Day. It's Valentine's Day, and there's a lot of male viewers, and I think a lot of guys are not going to be able to say to their girlfriend, "Okay, I got to watch Raw tonight." You know what I mean? It's kind of the one night where you got to say, we got to hang out, do whatever you want to do, that kind of thing, go out for dinner, things like that. So I think Valentine's Day hurt. I don't think a lot of people are talking about that, but it definitely probably hurt the rating. At least I think so.
I know from my standpoint, I was watching it live, thank God, but my DVR set to have the overrun didn't have a 20-minute overrun set to it,
Yeah.
so I would have missed out on half of his stuff. That kind of stuff can hurt. It's momentum if you miss out on half of it.
It's a little weird when they go that much longer in the overrun. I was actually driving home out for Valentine's Day, and my phone was blowing up at about 11:15 or whatever it was, and just people saying the Rock's back. So when I got home, I just kind of rewinded and watched it, and then I watched the rest of it, and it was pretty awesome.
So what was your?
I didn't really get hurt by the fact that it wasn't live.
What was the best line? Give me the best line from the night.
Oh, the drunk Hobbit one for sure. I think stood out.
Now sit down. You look like a drunk hobbit. Sit your ass down.
See,
I think it was very smart of them to have him play off Cole, because Cole's very hated and the anonymous GM is very hated. Just that noise, they really know that draws a lot of heat. The only other person that would have drawn that much heat was Vicky. I think it would have been incredible if Vicky comes out and says, "Excuse me," and The Rock says, "It doesn't matter if you want to be excused," or something like that. You know what I mean? Like it would...
Sorry, I had to.
Yeah, it would be one of those tremendous moments to have Rock confront Vicky and things like there's a lot of things that we can see in the future that are going to happen that I'm really excited about. So
See, I was more of a fan of the Barney quote.
And just as sure as every day John Cena walks out here looking like he just got shot out of Barney the dinosaur's anus.
I think that was my favorite of the night. I don't know. I was laughing my head off for that one.
There was so many lines. It was so nice to hear the word ass again and some bitch and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. It just brought back memories. I really enjoyed it.
Well, we're getting to our 15-minute limit here, so is there any final thoughts you want to end the very first YouTube video with?
I think the one thing that The Rock's done for a lot of us is make us feel like fans again and make us remember why we're watching in the first place, even though we're in our 20s or early 30s or whatever. And that's why we're here, because guys like him, he makes it feel special, and he'll keep us watching. And for moments like that, that's why you always want to be a wrestling fan, I guess.
So that concludes our very first YouTube upload. I want to thank John for stopping by. Make sure you follow him at John Report over on Twitter, as well as me, Dave the Awesome. You'll see those names pop up right now. Make sure you're searching for him on Facebook and searching him out under John Canton. A lot of good stuff over there as well. Follow the website, thejohnreport.net, link on the profile here. And subscribe to the channel. Tomorrow we're going to have our extra stuff for the Elimination Chamber preview. You'll see that posted along with our preview on the website. So thanks for stopping by, and hope you see you soon.